La Machina says, how can I forgive myself for a bad mistake I made in the past and stop beating myself up over it? 20 years old.
Oh man, that's a really good question. And so listen, we've all made mistakes. The human condition is suffering. The human condition is making mistakes. And the human condition is unfortunately trauma, experiencing events, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse that you end up carrying this false narrative about yourself, a story that you end up making into your identity. Yeah. Remember, I was molested as a boy by two older boys. When I was between the ages of 4 and 6, I was molested by two older boys in Armenia. And the story I told myself growing up is that I'm unlovable, unworthy. People probably are grossed out by me if they found out about this. And so it was a secret that I held. And I'm telling this, someone says, how did you overcome sexual abuse? I'm telling the story right now. Pedro and I could be friends. You turn the P into a B, you slap a S at the end of that O, and you got the Bedros. But anyways, all that to say that my story was that I'm unlovable, unworthy, that I'm just disposable, and people would be disgusted if they found out what happened to me, so I had to keep it a secret. Well, then you go through life with that story, so you start looking for evidence to justify that story. Someone looks at you just sideways and you're like, oh, see, I'm being judged. Oh, see, they don't like me. Oh, see, I do have it hard. So when you tell a story, you end up building a fake identity. And then you start looking in the world for events to justify or to validate that false identity. So the best thing you can do is seek out therapy, read books like The Body Keeps the Score, read books like How to Do the Work, read books like Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, read books like Outwitting the Devil. There's 4 books right there that you can read. Psycho-Cybernetics, there's a 5th book. Read those books, work with a good therapist, forgive yourself and forgive the people who caused the trauma, and move on and rewrite your new identity. My new identity is that I'm a fucking badass and I'm a servant of humanity and I will touch millions of people's lives before I die. Mm-hmm. With that identity, I go out looking and I always find validation for that. Mm-hmm. I see people in gas stations, grocery stores, gyms, everywhere, like, Bedros, you saved my life. Bedros, you changed my business. Bedros, I now work out. Bedros, I now don't have gelatinous titties. And it's all because I've changed my identity, and I go out and I find evidence to justify that.